Okay, one thing I just thought of that I didn't really describe during the finger picking lessons was that each of these fingers should be assigned to a string. Um, so there's 6 strings, you have 5 fingers. Sometimes you have to adjust if you're finger picking um, chords where one might start on the top string and then maybe like a D that starts on the fourth from the bottom. Um, but when you're doing this stuff, you want your thumb to be plucking out the. Say you're using like an A minor. You want your thumb playing the top string. Your second finger is assigned to the string below that. Your middle finger, the string below that. Your third finger, the string below that, and your pinky, the bottom string. But say it's a G chord which uses all 6. Um, then what I usually do is I keep my thumb on the top and my pinky on the bottom one. But you could put your pinky on the second to the bottom one, and then however you um, mix up the finger picking is kind of like more a feel thing. So if you're not doing it in a perfect, like you can kind of just like play around and it'll sound okay. But try to keep it within like a metronome, like the right rhythm, stuff like that. From there, what was I gonna do next? I'm gonna get into string skipping. Actually, I kind of want to get into bends. Actually, now I lost my pick. You would not believe how easily I lose a pick. There it is. Sorry. Picks like literally have magic properties that make them disappear. That's true. Magic doesn't exist, but if it did, it would be exclusive to guitar picks. Um, okay, so bends are pretty cool. I'm going to get into a few different like technique stuff with the strings. So I'm going to start with bends. A bend is when you play a note and then you bend up to raise the pitch. Okay, so like a quarter or like a half bend would be up one note, or a full bend is up a whole step. Okay, so I want to take this note and bend it up to a whole step higher. So all right, so that's a bend upwards. Now if you bend down, it's still going to raise the pitch because you're increasing the tension of the string whether or not you're bending it up or down. So there's upward bends, there's downward bends. Um, I, I suggest doing up pretty much all the time, um, except if you're on the bottom string, you have to bend up because if you bend down, it's going to go off the fretboard and sound like terrible. But if same logic, if you're on the top string, you have to bend down, and otherwise it'll go off the fretboard again. So that's a bend up, and when you like release the bend back down, that's a bend release. If you bend and then just stop, it's just like a bend up. Another thing you could do is a ghost bend. Oh, so that's a full bend. Sorry. A half bend would be just up one half step. So from this to this. Yeah. Okay. So sometimes my ear's a little bit off. Sorry. So a ghost bend is pretty sweet in that you bend, but you haven't played it yet, and then you play it. So first your ear hears the note and it almost like assumes that your finger's on the 7th fret, but really it's being held up on the 5th, or I'm not on the right shit, but like that. Okay. So there's the bend up, the bend down. Um, so there's a few other bends. Basically, one of them would be, say I'm playing the 5th fret on the top string, then reach up here and push up and down on the string. Alright, so that's like, alright, so I did it a couple times, but just that one bend up and back down is like a bend up and a bend down. Another thing you could do to bend a whole chord is just strum the whole chord. That sounds like shit. The thing is with that bend, what I just did with that top string, is that it could knock it out of tune. So mid-song, that might not be such a great idea. Sorry, something's wrong with this guitar. Okay, yeah, so to bend that whole chord, strum it once, hold the guitar close to you, and then bend the neck a little bit. This is called a neck bend, I believe. The only problem with that is that you could literally break the neck of your guitar if you do it. Even if you do it pretty lightly, you can break the neck. So I really don't. I did it for demonstration here, but in real life, I would never do that. And then another bend would be if you had a tremolo bar or a whammy bar, like I was talking about on my electric. That's the same idea, kind of as the neck bend, except that it's releasing the tension from the strings and not directly from the neck. So it's a little bit safer, and but same effect. Like you could strum a whole chord and bend everything. So those are bends. Those are all the ones I could think of. Then what we got are slides. So a slide is like, let me think of an example. A slide is just when you, stuff like that, when you start on 1 fret, you don't let go, and you hold on to the, not always so dramatic, maybe just from 1 fret to another, but you play it once, and it goes up to that note without doing like, it's just, that's a slide. So that's a slide up, and a slide down would obviously be that. And that's cool. Like sometimes you'll hear like in the intro of a song like, yeah, like an octave slide or something like that. And it's really good for like soloing and like that kind of stuff. Something called palm mutes or like chicka chickas, like stuff like this. All right, now I actually learned this the wrong way. So like Smells Like Teen Spirit has that. You hear those like chicka chickas in there. So really what you want to do, it's called a palm mute because you take the meat of your hand right here, hold it against the strings, and play, whatever along with it. So there's no real tonal quality to it. It's not like, the point is that it doesn't really have a pitch, it's just percussive. I mean, it has a pitch, but it's not important. And it's just that percussive aspect of playing. The way when I was learning it, I would do and hold the strings up here, which is bad because if you just lightly hold the strings on certain parts of the guitar, you'll get what's called a harmonic. So say I'm at the 12th fret here, and I try to do a palm mute. All right, I'm coming up on time. Sorry, I'll continue in the next.